Freestyle anime. Freestyle what? Freestyle freestyle anime. Yeah, Demon Slayer, I'ma catch him, dog. Freestyling every time we talk. 1 piece away from fortune and fame. Can't switch up on the game, that's my ninja way. Ain't doing that talking, we got more to say. Write your name in my book, that'll see your fate. Better hit up Deku, hope he say the day. Better hit up Deku, hope he say the day. Freestyling about anime. Every day, freestyling about anime. Every day, freestyling about anime. Every day, anime. I'm gone, I'm gone, I'm gone. Sorrow with a slice, nigga, I'm gone. Sorrow with a slice, nigga.
It's Rico here. I just want to tell you guys about our amazing partnership with Crosswork Media. Our boy Nicholas Garcia wrote this book called Flight Team. It's a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And Flight Team is about a fantasy steampunk themed superhero adventure. This dark, bloody adventure is littered with emotion, graphic, symbolic imagery. Join Marcos, Joel, Claus, and Dimitri as they defend the world of Atlas Park from demonic invasion. Bro, you want to check this out, man. This is a very good manga, and we have a special code for you. It's freestyle, and you'll get a great discount. We'll have the link to their website in the episode's bio. So go ahead and get you a physical copy, and let's get back into the episode. Welcome back to another episode of Freestyle Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Rico, with Ty. And also, we got Maal on the line with us. So you may not see him, but Maal is on the line.
What's good, y'all?
Yes, sir. He is here with us. Today, we haven't done one in a while, so we're going to get into Manga Talk. You know, the manga tape shall continue. And I actually like when we do this because when we go into the manga bag, it's just it's just so fun to me.
Yeah, man, because I feel sometimes we got to hold ourselves back so we don't want to spoil things.
Yes, but
especially when we get the debates.
Oh yeah, we do. But this is what the manga talks are for. We can't hold back. We get to entertain the manga readers out there and talk about some of the
nitty gritty
good new mangas out there. So before we get into it, there's a couple of GOAT modern jin that are out there that are now have come into a closure. That is Demon Slayer, My Hero, JJK, and what was the other one? Black Clover. Black Clover is coming to it and is coming. It is now a monthly or every other month anime.
It's about to end too.
To throw a little,
it's about to end also.
Yeah, to throw a little star in there. I'll throw for the Boruto fans. I'm gonna throw you a little bone. You know, it's been getting better, but I haven't really picked it up like that. I just know from my friends who read it, like Rod and Martin and stuff.
I've heard
like
it's
that.
gotten a lot better recently.
And I think Maal was at some point you were reading it. Right?
I love it. I know. I am still reading it. I'm completely caught up. I love it. I think it's a true. Now we truly get to focus on Boruto. I always felt like when Naruto was still around, hanging around during the Boruto series, it was taken away from Boruto. And now we just I'm talking about everybody's out. The only person that's there that we can really say that's from the old series, even from Shippuden, is like Shikamaru. And but Shikamaru is Hokage. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's but now we get to fully focus just on this new generation. And by far best, to me, I love the character design. The drip is on this fucking gas. It is gas,
I'll
bro.
take your word for it. I don't know. Now that I've been watching Naruto to get back into the weeds of it.
Yeah.
I just that scene with Naruto and his daughter's birthday. I don't know if I can get behind it, man. That feels so out of character for me. That just don't even make any sense to me. But I might give it a chance. Once I get to the end of Shippuden, I'll see if I want to dive into Boruto and really take that battle on.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. I haven't took that battle on either, but I've seen some pieces where I'm like, okay, it might be enough for me to give it a chance. But on the other note, I'm just gonna list off a few manga that people are considering the new gen or the new big three or
the pillars
that are gonna carry us to the new anime wave. I'm kind of sad that some of the ones that I named a couple of minutes ago are done. Because some of them I expected to last a little longer, like JJK, I was expecting a little longer. My Hero, I was expecting a little bit longer, like maybe not a spinoff, but a continuation. Now, okay, Deku becomes the hero. Now he faces responsibility.
Well, I'm still not completely
Nah.
sure that he's not gonna touch on it ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I could still see a spinoff coming from My Hero, like in the next couple of months, maybe being announced. But
Because, like I said in a previous episode, what Maul, like what I was expecting Maul is him telling us the story of how he becomes the number one hero, and then he faces a challenge now that he is the number one hero.
True.
And as you're watching it, you can say, yes, he is the current number one hero. It doesn't need to be said and cleared out. Like, the world doesn't need to declare it. But I feel like, yeah, the world should have declared, like they declared Endeavor the number one hero. He should have did something like now he defeated somebody. Now the world views Deku as the number one hero. And he's facing different responsibilities, different problems that he didn't see All Might had to deal with behind the scenes of meetings. Just other shit that goes into being the number one hero than just fighting.
Because the last thing, just to piggyback off that before you talk, Ma, is I just want to say I do feel like it wasn't felt in the series like he was the number one hero. It was just said. So I feel like he kind of lied to us at the beginning of the series a little bit. He's like, "This is the story of how I became the number one hero."
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Okay. I get that. I get what you guys coming from, the standpoint of, how his stories say, that's how I became number one hero. But in the case of All Might, let's backtrack. Let's just give All Might. Even though All Might was the number one hero, but remember why All Might was the number one hero? Because he symbolized peace.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But not once did I ever hear, even though people knew, even as you can see, I was watching the series, everybody knew All Might wasn't the same. He was just a symbol at the end of the day. And I think that wait, no, you can sit there and say that, because remember, he was a symbol of peace, because when All Might lost his power and he went against All for One, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he pointed and everything, look how it shook the whole entire world. Because they were like, who is now going to be our symbol of peace?
Yeah.
Even though, hold on. Even though they declared Endeavor as the number one hero and he became the number one hero, even then, no one looked at him like, oh my gosh, we're safe and yeah, he's at peace. That's why it was so important that Hawks even say, hey, when you want to get that normal, please win. Because if you don't, the world already don't believe in you anyway. So it was very, very important for him to win and go against that normal and defeat that normal. Like, that was so important for him. And also it helped Endeavor with his character development, but that's just a whole other side tangent anyway. But and that's what Deku ended up becoming at the end. That symbol of peace. And I think it's exactly
Hold on, bro. Slow your roll down. Slow your roll down.
Well, real quick.
Go ahead, Ty. I'll let you go.
One thing I want to say is that let's not forget why he was the symbol of peace. Is because he was so overwhelmingly powerful. Mm-hmm. That's why he was the symbol of peace. So for somebody to replace All Might, they also needed to be that overwhelmingly powerful.
Which Deku ended up becoming.
Wait. And it was the moment, bro. Everyone was chasing their moment. Like, look at Bakugo. Mm-hmm. He was chasing that moment to raise his fist up, and he's like, wait, wrong hand. Or something like that. Everyone was chasing the moment to represent to the world that they're the number one hero. Even Endeavor, when he went all out, he wanted to showcase, like, he was the number one hero. Remember, like, he didn't want to fall, but after he walked away from that fight against, I think the Nomu, he fought and took it in the air and blasted. Mm-hmm. He wanted to show the world the moment, like, yes, I know all you guys don't agree with me being it because you guys think I'm too edgy or too not
aggro.
Yeah, too much not what a hero represent. Like, I don't smile enough. I'm more of a Vegeta type. Like, people didn't.
I disagree with that part.
Yeah, what part do you disagree with?
Hold on. In the story, you could disagree with it, but in the story, people did not really accepted him as the number one because they felt Hawk should have been number one because of his personality and the persona he gives off. But to bring it back, no, bro. Deku did not get the moment or to symbolize to the world that he was number one. His only true little moment, which I don't know if it's animated yet, is when he was fighting by himself, solo dolo, and then the girl was begging everybody to let him back in because he was out there putting his body in the line. and they were watching him. That was maybe the only little moment I think he had
kind of.
close enough to show.
Okay.
Like,
I
he's
think
the
what was
number one.
supposed to be the moment. I think the moment was supposed to be when he finally beat Shigaraki and he had that like punch into the
Yeah.
sky, and they were recording it on the. I think that was what was supposed to be the moment, but it didn't really feel like it because I felt we were
Yeah.
more entangled with the emotional side of things,
gotcha.
what it meant for Shigaraki.
That's true.
More so
Yes,
than
yes,
Deku.
yes. I agree on that part. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, I'll say I feel like Deku, he had the power for it. I think he was the strongest hero of all time, but I don't think he was the most impactful.
Yeah,
Maybe that's not a good way of putting it. I don't think he was the most impactful. Was not the right word. He wasn't like the most like relatable. Look up to.
No. He did not get his due. That's just what it was.
Yeah.
Like when I say his due was, we the watchers did not get to experience him bask in everybody looking up to him as the number one hero and everybody in love with him. Yeah, I'm all to your point. All Might was hurt at that moment when he did that last fight. But the world didn't realize he was hurt. They didn't find out the truth till way, way, way later on. After the second fight, when we really needed him, they're like, the streets talking now. The villains even know now. Everybody still thought up to a certain point that All Might was still All Might because he can show it in burst. And then they had deployed so much heroes that only a certain few of people knew that, you know, he can't. He's too busy doing so many things. He can't be at one place. So they try to hide that around. But he showed you time after times and battles and fight. Even when you get into the story, we all know who number one is here. We all know who put the nigga in jail. We all know. Like, the world knows. The world is telling you he's number one. The U.S. modeled a whole girl after All Might.
Literally.
He's number one. Deku didn't get any of that. Like, I understand. Like,
Yeah, okay.
In fact, the only thing you feel for Deku, like for the majority of the final chapter, is pity. Like you just feel bad for him.
If anything,
that's true.
To me, Shigaraki kind of stole it a little bit.
Yeah,
because like he's trying to connect with Shigaraki, which is what makes Deku a really good character. He never really gave up on him. But one thing I'll say, because I did hear you guys have a little convo. One thing I will say is Shigaraki was just like, nah, I'm gonna die on this hill. Like, thank you for trying to reach in and touch me and to make me see, but I did suffer from my grandma from being a hero, which led to my dad, which my dad let those feelings into me, which allowed All For One to plant seeds and push the dad to even further into corrupting Shigaraki. And you know what I'm saying? Like little things he planted.
You see?
You know,
You proving my point. You proving my point, Rico.
How am I proving your point?
I just want to say, this actually reminds me of another show, like pretty heavily in the way it's kind of like reflecting, but The Legend of Korra. Because Legend of Korra, I think, is also a show that has excellent villains, but like sometimes the way they're utilized or in reflection to the main character, I think sometimes they feel a little bit watered down. But like the way Shigaraki is, I think Shigaraki is an excellent villain. But I still think there's aspects of his character that weren't fully realized.
You know why he's not an excellent villain? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you.
Go
why.
ahead.
See how they watered down All Might so Deku could rise?
Kind of.
So with All For One lurking around in the background, still being powerful and still kind of like manipulating him, and then being the center of still like he kind of stole. They had to co-share the stage. Like at
That's
the end
what I'm
of the day,
talking about.
the hero would truly focus on All For One. He was the problem.
Yeah.
He was the pure all evil. It was his way. Shigaraki, because Deku could still feel like he was somehow being manipulated, and there was still someone to grab. There was no one grabbing All For One.
And also,
Or go ahead, Maal. Go ahead, Maal.
but one thing I also add on there too, go back to what Rico was saying, even like what caused him to become a villain. You take that out, or you really sit there's really no depth against what the choices that he chooses to, like, why he really do the thing that he do. Like, yeah, nigga,
Wait,
outside of the truth.
You're saying
Okay, so
there's
this what
no
I'm.
depth for Shigaraki?
What I mean by no depth is like I feel like his vendetta when he does something right is like what depth or justification that makes his motivations like relatable.
Let me go into
like,
it. Let me get into it then.
Okay.
Because basically what Shigaraki is arguing for is a complete reformation of the hero system, because he's saying it's broken. And it's broken because
but
of
how is it broken?
I'm saying it's broken because of All Might. Because All Might acting as the symbol of peace made all the other heroes become complacent. And because everybody was complacent, it leaves pockets of pain and desperation in places where the heroes don't go to because they have this veneer of peace that All Might has kind of created. And that's where Deku kind of comes in as this symbol of the everyman rising up to be a hero, to thusly inspire other people who are the everyman to rise up to be heroes in their own communities.
And I'm gonna go a little bit more.
But look what you just said, though, Ty. But Ty, wait, Rico, before you go, look what you just said, though, Ty.
Mm-hmm.
You said it was important for Deku. Look what Deku is doing to show that, hey, everybody need to be a hero in their own community. Once again, Deku taking initiative to say, hey, you know what? We all should rise. Once again, go back to what I was saying about Shigaraki. You're doing these things. So yeah, these are pocket holes that know that exist. Be like Deku and help everybody rise. Instead, you going around to go cause more pain.
Whoa, no.
So
You're
that's what
misunderstanding because
you're
the only
something.
reason that happened is because of Shigaraki. Deku only came to that conclusion because of his fight with Shigaraki, which is what a good villain should do. Same way how you see in Naruto, right? Where you have Pain. Pain went around causing all this pain and destruction, right? But if it wasn't for that encounter with Pain, Naruto would never become the hero he became.
Hold on.
But hey, like, time out. But look what Pain was doing, though. But look what Pain was doing. Even though Pain...
Wait. Let Rico go.
Because we're going to jump into Pain and Naruto, right?
Yeah, okay.
We're just going to do a freaking olive branch and go to the next thing. To stay in the main topic.
Stay in the main topic.
What Ty is saying in a deeper level of how I was looking at it from my perspective was, there was certain stuff that the heroes overshadowed or did not see. Like there was certain, like where in Shigaraki felt like he needed someone, the heroes were not. They were too busy wanting the fame because there was a generation that Deku grew up to wanted the fame of All Might. Some people were in it for the money and what the fame brought of being a hero, and not really in it for what being a hero is. And then the other aspect is there is a part where if you look at Shigaraki's dad, his biggest thing was when I needed my mom the most, she neglected me to save everybody else. What about me? Like, I'm your child. Like, your dream and your passion is neglecting your kid. Everybody sees you as the symbol of hope and hero. I get the worst of you. I don't get any of you.
Yeah, and then,
so it led to the dad saying, "Fuck all heroes." Like, no, like you neglect your family. Nobody gets to see you. And then if you look at Endeavor, that kind of overwhelming his family tree too. So there's that aspect of it. So Shigaraki saying is fighting for the voice of one, the villains misusing their powers and different things. I mean, not the villains, the heroes misusing it and making society feel like they are protected and hiding behind all this BS systematically. And then two, he is also a seed of someone who got neglected from someone who was deemed as the number one hero before All Might.
Well, no, she was. Was she the number one?
No, I don't think she was.
She had the
no, she had the power.
Yeah,
but she wasn't. No, that don't mean she was number one. She was number one hero.
Chasing One for All.
She was, but I don't think that was when the whole number one hero thing was really at its peak. But she was a very famous hero because she was with Gran Torino. Gran Torino was a famous hero.
Yeah. Okay. True. She was. So basically, it's just like the neglection.
But to me, I feel like y'all using his childhood.
But
y'all
Mom,
just using his childhood.
You're saying he has no base, but this is the base of his reason.
No, I'm saying that he has no base. If you take that base out, what other depth does he have as a character developer? Like, what does he provide?
That is his character development.
Okay, no, I don't. Okay, this is what I mean by this.
Let me give you one more example too. Because at the very first episode, when you see Bakugo getting attacked by that slime monster, right? And then you have the hero show up and he's just like, my quirk isn't really good for that. I guess I'll just wait for somebody else to show up. Yeah. Those are the kind of situations that gosh, I'm mixing up all the names, that Shigaraki is really talking about.
Even Stain.
Stain's actually another good person to bring up because he has a similar
Stain
motivation.
is a good villain. Stain is a good villain. I like him.
Stain and Shigaraki literally have the same convictions. Shigaraki just took it further.
Yeah.
All right.
Shigaraki was just blinded more by his truth, what he wanted. Stain wasn't like fully blinded. Stain was just like, I just wanted to point it out. That'll
go back to my my saying though.
He just wanted to point it out.
That's Maal Talk, because Maal hasn't talked in a little bit.
They were not going as far as to being hold the truth, but.
This is my thing. What I mean by character development. Let me explain. As the series goes on, at some point in time, the character needs to develop. Once we got to know Shigaraki in his backstory and his trauma, at this point in time, he stayed in that trauma state. Look to the point how he even died at the. What do you mean no? To the point you even said at the end, I'm gonna die on this hill.
When he was first introduced,
I'm not talking about when he first introduced.
No, but I'm saying that's part of the story because we're talking about his development. Okay. When he was first introduced, he was a gamer crybaby, and he was whining and screaming and throwing a tantrum, basically. Then when he was introduced to Stain because of the misunderstanding where people thought that he and Stain were related, then he was like, oh man, I can use some of this ideology to get what I want.
Yeah.
And then he had that whole conflict with Overhaul when he was just like, yo, I need a conviction. I need to actually figure out why it is I'm fighting and pursue that.
Yep.
And by finding that conviction, that's what kept the League of Villains together.
And then he won over the League of Villains.
Yeah, and then finally
let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question, though, Ty?
Yeah,
let me ask you a question, though, Ty. Ty, based on everything that you just mentioned in the Stain, I remember the Stain part. But when he came to even to the convention, especially the convention part, look what he had to resort to. He had to resort back to the trauma when he was a kid. And that's what I'm saying again.
No, what are you talking about? When are you talking about reverting to the trauma? Like, give me an example of what you're talking about.
Okay. He holds on to hate that he hates for his grandmother and his father for the convention of what he still does think that he does it to this day.
No,
so,
he built upon it by saying, this is what I went through.
Okay, even though he built upon it, right? And that's what I'm saying, but that's the core. That's what I'm saying. That's the core.
No, you're talking about character development. That's what character development is, building upon what your core is.
I know what he's. I think you're. Wait, Maul. I think a little bit of it is you're a prisoner of the moment, and when I say that is what you're watching now is making a bigger target on Shigaraki of who he is. He himself is someone who went through, let's say, a moment of therapy in that battle. He didn't realize this and this led to this. Within the story, as you're reading it, when you're seeing the part in the manga of when Deku's trying to search and grab to Shigaraki, and then their memories start to collide. That is him going through a little bit of therapy to me. He does not realize this is what causes his roots. When you saying he's holding the trauma, that's like every time he gets into a battle, the author would have referenced his childhood. No, that didn't happen. The time the author references his childhood was in two moments I remember. Was one when he got attacked by the girl. The girl? And Miss America, what's her name? When there was a crack. They're like, hey, we seen a crack. She left a scar wound that led open to his trauma.
Stripes. Gosh,
yes.
I'm trying to remember.
She tapped into his trauma because she infiltrated his mind when he tried to take the power, and it worked. But it also opened a gap to Shigaraki's heart a little bit, into his trauma. But his trauma wasn't present throughout the whole series.
At all.
There was only a glimpse when we saw a little background of him saying the story a bit, but the overall of what built his foundation character get revealed in the final battle, and it ties into the story. Yeah, you do see it, but I do think he does progress a little bit time and time. But I wanted to ask you, what would you have wanted to see him progress, since you're saying that he didn't develop? What did you wanted to see? It's similar to what we wanted to see Deku do.
I think in the case of Shigaraki, I love good villains. I really do. I do love me a good ass villain. And I think sometimes Shigaraki, and I think you guys sway me a little bit with the character development, because I always felt like it was just like he was just an immature kid just doing immature stuff. Because he just hated heroes. And I was just like, bro, there got to be more to you. And it took other people to really help him become a villain. And I was like, I think about Aizen, I think about Madara, I think of these type of villains. They're strategic about it. They add in depth. There's reasoning behind it. And to me, I just felt like there was never no true reason about it. You know what? I think sometimes, you know what? I think about you know what? If we think about the first season, right? When he invaded UA, right? I feel like, you know what? It was just it was impulsive. You know what? It was just, he just did it. It was there was no preparation. It was just what I didn't understand, you know, what was this? your purpose of invading the UA at that time, especially the high schoolers, you know?
There was a purpose to it. He was prepared because he brought in a ton of foot soldiers. He had a specific
Low
designed
levels,
Nomu.
like low level.
But that was for the other heroes that were there. But he brought in a specific Nomu to take down All Might. And that was the reason they were there, was to test out this whole Nomu situation with the experimentations that they were working on.
Well, can I say this, though? To give Maul a point here, is I could see what he's saying only from the standpoint of Shigaraki and Deku reflected each other.
Yeah.
They both were students.
Yes.
They both were students. And yes, but Maul, you have to also admit that Deku and him were developed in two different ways.
Okay.
In the mirror.
Yes,
Deku
yes,
was developed
yes,
by
yes,
All
yeah.
Might, and he had to develop his body for the power. All for One, I was confused their names. All for One for All.
No, you're right. You're right.
All for One was mentoring and molding Shigaraki to be the next host for him. And he was being developed, which is why he was having conflict and thinking when he didn't like the whole thing that went with overall. And he started to, it was like, no, I got to be able to do X, Y, and Z and come up with this and that. He didn't want to just be another puppet. Even if you look at it like, when the dude you tried earlier that you called a lizard,
Splinter. My bad.
He himself also was a true friend to Shigaraki. Like Shigaraki's team,
Yes.
they didn't want him to be overtaken by All for One. If
At
he
all.
do, they didn't want him to. And there's moments where Shigaraki showed that he was not gonna let his master get his way, even though he was accepting the power. And that was also a mirror of this is how his body's going through accepting this power, similar to what we saw Deku in the beginning of the
Exactly.
show
Yeah.
going through. Look at Shigaraki when he was going through and how it was hurting his body and it was messing with his mind. And then like he
Yeah,
was
that's true.
uncontrollable and it was too much for him. The same
Yeah.
thing was happening. And even after he took Deku's power, it also exploited his body too.
That's true. That's true. I think, and also the reason too, I think I didn't like Shigaraki, and I now that as you guys maybe talk about, I don't think I didn't like Shigaraki. I think I didn't like All for One using
I could understand
Shigaraki.
that. I could understand
I
that.
think that's the part that's really I get frustrated because there were certain things I didn't like that where you know what the decision that All for One was doing. I'm like, I don't think Shigaraki would actually move like that.
Well, you could see
sure.
Shigaraki was fighting that a little bit because remember when he suppressed All for One, we thought he killed him, and then because at the end of the battle, which in the anime, how far have they gotten? Because I don't think they got to the end of the battle because that's
No.
what I'm saying.
No, they're not in the battle. No, they're not in the battle. No,
That's what I'm saying. Did you read the manga too? All the way? Okay.
not
Alright.
all the way.
Okay. But at the end of the battle, when All for One gets taken down into a baby, Shigaraki is the driver up until Deku opens the scar tissue more.
Yeah.
When they
Gotcha.
decide and say, hey, Deku, you're going to have to throw him the power and we're going to break through from within because he is too strong. We're going to exploit into those that trauma that he has, and that should awaken him. With that trauma is how they figure a way to defeat him, basically.
Pretty much. But that's kind of, to finish this topic off, that's kind of what I was talking about before, right? I said, I feel like Shigaraki is a great villain, but he just wasn't utilized to the full capacity.
Yeah.
I felt like they kept
Yeah.
setting him down with
Yeah,
All for
true.
One or not giving him a chance to fully shine.
That's the same thing I'm saying
Yes.
with Deku.
With
They both
Deku, yeah,
didn't
I can
get
see
to
it now.
shine.
They both didn't get this shine. Yeah,
They both
yeah.
like lost some. They both lost something. Like we lost Shigaraki. He died. And he said, "Thank you, Deku, but I'm gonna die and go to hell." Like basically, like I still believe in my ideology. Like I still stand on what I think of. You let me see and you expose All for One and show how he puppet me and basically planted seed to make me believe this way. But at the same time, I still believe what I believe.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways, I started this with I started this with trying to big up the new big three to me, the new potential big characters, not characters, series is out there that are gonna now lead, and that was Dandadan,
Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi. I keep calling it Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi. What was the other one you
Kagurabachi.
said?
I know some other ones are what's the one with the assassins? Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto
That's another
Days.
one
Oshinoko
that's gonna
also.
deliver. And then Guta? I don't know, bro.
Oh,
This one I haven't read yet.
Gachi Akuta. Gachi Akuta?
I
don't know.
have
haven't
checked
seen
the
that one.
other three Sakamoto Days, Don Kagurabachi, but the other one I have not like.
Haven't touched it.
Haven't
I'm
touched
caught
it.
up on Don. I'm caught up on Kagurabachi. I've read a decent chunk of Sakamoto Days, but I'm not fully caught up on that one. But they're all really good.
Yeah. So in this manga talk episode, we're gonna get into the one that's my favorite right now, and
I think it's my favorite too.
yeah, if you know me and y'all know CJ always makes fun of me. You love yourself some swordsmen. Kagurabachi got me, bro. It's like another. At first I was trying to compare to Demon Slayer because of the swords, but
It doesn't feel, I'm
it's
trying to
way
think of what it
more.
feels
it's different.
like.
It's different. And then with the sorcery, I was like, JJK, sorcery.
Kind of, but it doesn't feel
but
as,
it doesn't.
as gratuitous as JJ.
No.
You know what it reminds me of? Kind of. It reminds me of the really serious parts of Gintama. Like if Gintama was a purely serious series, that's what it would remind me
Okay,
of.
I could see that. And it screams shonen, bro.
Yes, it's
It's
so
like,
shonen, man.
bro.
If you like good battle shonen, you're gonna love Kagurabachi, man.
All gas, no brakes
At all.
The only breaks Maal we potentially get is maybe when he wakes up like a normal shonen, when the character wakes up from a big battle, and then you're like, bro, you need a rest,
He just takes one breath in, one breath out, back
and then
to
boom,
fighting.
back to fight. What's the next mission? What
hey,
is it?
let me ask y'all a question though, and y'all both can take your turn answering. What initially drew you both to it, and what moment that got you hooked?
You want to go?
Okay, I'll start us off. What really got me interested in it was all the hype that surrounded it before the first chapter even dropped.
Same.
It was so out of nowhere. Like people started making memes where it's just like Kagurabachi was like the elders, like, let me show you how to write a good story. And it was like talking down to One Piece and Bleach and Naruto.
Yes.
And I was like, what in the world is going on? This series isn't even out yet.
I'm not gonna lie, it was such a good tactic. The author said himself that he himself did not expect this wave. Like he did not know. It was a meme on Twitter for the longest. Like everybody saying Kagurabachi. I was like, what is this? What is this anime? Why are they talking about this like that? And it pissed me off a little bit because it was like, it's over One Piece, it's over Naruto, it's over this. I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta see this first chapter.
Let me read this. What are you talking about?
All this fucking hype. And we even made the whole skit where we made industry plant, something that they just success out of nowhere, and people were like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? How can an anime be an industry plant? Da, da, da. I was just trying to make a reference with hip hop. And I'm here to say, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Because, and even up to that point, when people were saying that and I was saying that, I read up to 10 chapters at that point, and I was just like, this is pretty good. But I wasn't hooked yet. But I thought it was pretty good. And now
Did you get hooked?
I'm hooked. When I went back in, like I think I seen it trending again, or I think I talked to you about it again, and then and you were telling me some stuff, and I was like, one, Ty don't read too much things that are trash, to be honest. I'll give him that. So if he's consistently still reading something after I kept hearing all the hype and I thought it was dying down, and there was a lot of people, and I started to notice a pendulum swing where like, no, it really was building real fans. It wasn't just
Big
people
momentum.
that were just like hyping it up just for the fun of it, like it was Dogecoin or something. People were actually really like planting their seeds, and I started seeing more fans and everything like that. So I was like, you know what? I gotta check this out again. And so I went back and I checked it, and hey, bro.
Man, I can tell you the
was
exact
good.
moment I really got hooked. It's when he first got Cloud Gouger.
Oh my god.
And then the
We
other
gotta
guy.
explain all the swords.
I know that. We got like I'll go into explanation right after. When
yeah.
he
Go
got
ahead.
Cloud Gouger, and I forget what the exact. God, I'm trying to remember the exact moment. I remember the opponent was just like, "Bro, you're gonna have to either sacrifice all these people, or you're gonna have to kill me. You gotta pick one." And he's like, "Nah, I know what I'm doing." and he just took him out.
Yes.
I was just like, yo, it was so good.
So first it come like when he fought you talking about the lightning dude, right?
Yes.
He had Cloud Gouger.
He had Cloud Gouger originally.
I ain't gonna lie, the name of the sword you remember real easy because I can't even remember his first sword, like the first enchanted blade, and right.
So describe more. Okay. Describe. So y'all mentioned swords.
Yeah, let me give you the
Y'all
breakdown of
mentioned
what the series is
sorcery.
about.
So like you don't. Yeah, let more. Tell us more what the series is about.
Here's
and
why
also,
you should check it out.
Yeah.
Here's why you should check it out.
This is a world where sorcery is a big thing, right? You got a lot of sorcerers. It's kind of like the police force in a sense, but they got like magic, powers, abilities, and the like. Now, we're fresh off the heels of like this huge war that just went on.
Yes.
And during the war, there were these 6 great swords that were created. And these swords now are crazy because they're imbued with sorcery, which is extremely rare. Like it's very difficult to like imbue something with sorcery. And you had one guy that made all 6 of these blades, gave them to these swordsmen, and that's really what turned the tide of this war that allowed the good side to win. Now, after the war is done, they collect all these 6 swords, say, hey, we're sealing these away. We're separating out the old sword wielders because they have contracts with these swords. So you can't use the sword really unless the sword master's gone and they're dead. And then now the blacksmith, he's kind of huddled away with these swords, hiding them out. And he ends up having a kid, and he and his son are just there kind of living their day-to-day life. Start of the series begins. We kind of find out that somebody came in, killed the dad, stole the swords.
Oh, yeah.
And they like divvied them up.
And the guy that they killed him now is the leader of the Hashoku.
Oh, Hashoku, I think it's called.
Gang. Well, and then when we say it's typical shonen, bro, you have different groups where like I feel like these groups are gonna be talked in like, oh, the Akatsuki clan, the Phantom Troop, this and that. So you have like groups
I think it's gonna be
where
really big.
You can like say, okay, bro, would you put this group against this group? Like that'd be crazy. So you have that.
Okay.
So the guy he was talking about, the first villain we kind of meet, they're in the Sojo group.
Yeah, the Sojo group.
The Sojo group. One of them is Genichi, and Genichi is a little bit. He became my early favorite villain. I ain't gonna lie.
He's kind of like that murder hobo kind of energy.
What draw you guys to him though? Like, what is it? It ties to my next question. What is the art style like? Does it complement a typical shonen like you mentioned?
The art style is immaculate.
Yeah, the manga.
I actually got to look up who the mangaka is because I don't know his name. But bro, when I tell you some of his panels just pop out, it just comes to life. He does such good work with the contrast between black and white. It is excellent.
And that's why I think it really got me was when he used his sword. Chiro is the main character, and his sword has goldfishes that come out. And it just, like Ty said, it popped out. You just seen a bunch of goldfishes in a snake pattern, and then
It's
the
like
next
ink
panel,
droplets.
everybody's head sliced off. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
It also has a really good, what we call in the industry, the effect of like the page turn.
Yeah.
Where you go from one page to the next, and you're just like, yo! And it just transitions so smoothly from page to page, like what's going on. Like it's very easy to follow the action.
Yeah,
too.
it is. No, it is. And then I ain't gonna lie, Norasaki-ku, bro. So he was the first one we saw get beat because right at the beginning, there's this girl who could heal people, and she was a slave. So they took her. She was almost like your from My Hero. What's the girl?
Eri.
She was almost like your Eri, right? And he ends up, the son, from what Ty said, he saw his dad get murdered. So he is on a mission to retrieve the swords. So the enchanted blades, because they're special blades, they're what caused the shift of the war.
Yeah.
And if one party has it, they can literally overtake the country.
Pretty much.
So he wants to get them back because he knows the destruction of them. So basically, he grew up watching his dad talk about the swords, and his dad is funny as fuck.
He is.
He gives me Kafka vibes. It's funny as hell.
You know who he gives me vibes of? Gosh, what's his name in Bleach?
Oh yes,
Urahara.
Urahara, way more, but a little bit more serious.
Yeah, like a serious Urahara, but like
and more screen time off bat. Like his, when I say more screen time, like he is like the main component that everybody talks about as you move through the show. Like he is this great person who did all of this that. like they had to kill him.
You know, he kind of feels like he was like the main character of a series that became before this one.
Yeah.
So you're coming in at the end of his story.
Yeah,
To kind of
yes.
like learn about it. And it's like the follow up with his son.
Yep, basically. And
So let me tie. So this goes into the next thing I want to ask you then about this. Y'all mentioned about country. Y'all mentioned about the different faction that they could possibly have. So how does currently series handle the world building, and does it immerse it very well?
That's actually
Based on what you've seen so far.
We're still pretty
That's
early
one-
on.
yeah,
Because
that-
we're still like
We're still early on?
Like we just hit chapter 56. So we're not like super
Oh,
deep
so
into
it's
it.
still early.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that early.
So we're still getting
Oh.
pieces of the world building and how the magic works and that sort of stuff. So we're not fully
Wow.
there yet.
And you guys are this hype about it for only
Yes.
50 chapters in?
Yes.
This
That's
is when
crazy.
you know
Okay.
you see a stock that you should buy now. This is when you should buy it.
We're buying
When they were
cheap.
talking about Bitcoin and everything, get some Bitcoin, get some
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
So, like Ty said, we haven't seen too much, but the one thing I could tell you that revolves around the world is for sure sorcery, and there's a huge present of an underground black market themed around this show. Like, there's so
Ooh, I
much
like that.
like just black market dealers, like underground world of people that are moving through Japan, a mob, and there is a police task force that is shortly mentioned immediately, and then their presence gets pushed because they do have some type of what's it called, the bone flare, the
Well, you just said it and it messed me
The
up. It's the
bone-
bone, the flame bone, something like that.
yeah, a weapon that is capable of going par to par with the enchanted blade,
Yes.
basically. And they recognize that they need to get all the enchanted blade, even though that they know Churro is the dude's son. What's his dad's name again? And
Roku Shiro?
Yeah.
Roku something.
and he
Roku Hiro?
yeah, I'm gonna get it right here.
Roku Hiro. I was
Yeah,
so close.
Roki Hero. And Maal, even though he's his son, they're like, nah, we need the blade from you too. You got to give that up. Like, it's
Oh, we
that
didn't mention
powerful.
that. His dad made actually 7 swords. The
Seven.
7th one is the one that Chihiro has, but nobody
Yeah.
knows about that.
No
7th
one knew
one.
about it. Yeah, no one knew about it.
But to kind of go back to the world building thing, one thing I really appreciate about this series is it very much respects the viewer. It doesn't like cookie cutter, this is how this works, this is how this works. That sometimes feels awkward
Mm-hmm.
in the show where you're like, okay, yeah, we're just reading a bunch of exposition about the world.
Yeah.
But it lets you kind of figure things out as things are going. So
Yeah.
it feels like the world is real, it's moving. That these are
Yes.
actual people just living in a world that is this way.
You're not lying, because you remember the part when the girl's in the little restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
That felt so real. And then you seen the dude like in the car, and like he's outside, and he comes in, he wants the girl, but that did feel real. Like, it made you feel like you were in the restaurant. But one thing that was crazy is the dude I'm talking about. What's his name? I just had his name. He had like a high top. He's part of the Sojo too. Norisaku, bro. He was someone who did bad stuff, and then he wanted to be clean and get out. Bro, they murdered him in the car immediately. That's when I was just
God
like,
damn.
the mob was just like, oh, you don't want to be in the gang no more? There's only one way you get out the gang. You die. And I think
Oh, the mama talking like that?
Yeah.
the mob killed him. He exploded in the car, I believe. Like, he was in the car. He's like, I'm going to change my life. I'm not going to do this no more. Da, 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 da. Boom. Blows up.
Because Chihiro speared him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hero beat him.
So let me ask y'all this then. Based on the stuff y'all mentioning and the people murdering, dying, cars blowing up,
Oh, this
what,
is...
I guess, what does Kagurabachi, how you say this? I want to make sure I'm not
Kagurabachi.
butchering your name.
Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi. What does Kagurabachi bring to shonen genre that makes it stands out? Like, or what has surprised you or shocked you that's so different from other shonens?
That's a good question. It's hard to kind of put my finger on it, but it's like, I think it's purely the execution of it, because it reminds me of Bleach in a sense. To where when Bleach picks up, like, I felt like I was just fiending for the next story beat. I was like, yo, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next?
You know, to me, it's like, I wouldn't even say it's a breath of fresh air, but like I said, it's another new shonen that necessarily outjump. You don't feel like it's trying to be completely different, but you don't feel like it's trying to also be the norm. It's just,
Yeah, or like copy something.
yeah, it's just, you're getting what you're getting. Like,
Yeah.
Like right off bat, you can tell, okay, this is about swords. Okay, he wants to retrieve the sword. You know the mission. We're on a mission to get the swords back. We're also figuring out a little bit of what happened previous in the world. So there is a previous part of the world that we don't know about, which is there was a war that happened. We don't know what happened. We only know that Enchanted Blade helped them to win the war. We know there's a side of the world that did not like that the Enchanted Blade was developed. And then we also know that side of the world is developing their own power because the Enchanted Blade is made with some type of special stone.
I believe so.
I believe so.
Like nutrient or something.
And they're the other clan is trying to use it in a different way to collect the Enchanted Blade, but it also sacrifices the users.
Yeah.
Like if you use it, you die. Like it can allow you to do the same thing that you could with the Enchanted Blade, but it's at the cost of your body. And these guys are very kamikaze to their cause.
Yeah.
Like they
big time,
bro.
They
like,
do not care.
They don't care. Like we need this. We got to get it. And they're chasing these blades. It's like the thing with JJK, Sukuna Fingers was the main thing. This feels like this is the main thing. We're chasing that. It's not. There's no confusion so far. I don't feel confused.
I like that.
He's trying. He's on a mission, and as he's going on a mission, he's making these friends.
Yeah.
Like the next person that comes in, which he himself is one of those second characters. Bro, the development
talk
of
about
that,
it. Speak on it. How are the unsupported characters?
Hakuryu, he is the wimp. He is the Usopp, right? But
He doesn't really feel like an Usopp.
he
feels like Konohamaru.
Yeah, they suppressed him. His parents, like he grows up in a underground
Like gang
game that does these dealer marketing,
like these black market deals.
These black market, like let's say, you know, the boat show, like they do like a boat show, right? His dad, not necessarily, but they market all the top bad shit, like slaves, weapons, you name it, information, like mass destructions. He is part of that type of family, and they have a yeah. I'm so serious. They have the dad has a special power that his grandfather passed on to him, which controls this big vault room.
Yeah, it's like a pocket dimension.
Yeah, it's which is almost kind of like what you know in Demon Slayer that Muzan hides in. His father controls all of that, and he has the key, and he's looking out of all his sons to pass onto that power. And out of the the 5 kids he has, Hakuryu is seen as the failure.
Yeah,
offer it
because I think he has a twin, and his twin is seen as like kind of the peak.
The peak, like his twin is the one who's doing everything. It's almost like in Sanji's family. The one of them is showing progress and everything, and it's just like he's not showing nothing. Everyone's like, you're so weak, you can't do this. One of the brother loves him so much, but he bullies him at the same time.
Yeah, like his eldest brother is like, we're gonna make you stronger, bah, and just beats him into his face, bro.
He thinks that's the way of trying to make him stronger, and he's also left with dealing with one. He was entertaining this girl that was a slave. And oh my God, that part of the story was crazy.
That was.
She died, right? She took her own life. Yeah.
So basically, she was.
So there's a lot of
up.
surprising moments to y'all in this.
Yeah, let's not get too much into that because I think that's something when you read it is really impactful to read.
Well, can y'all talk more about the
second character?
Supported the side characters. I want to know more. So you're talking about Hakuryu. So what is another good side character, or how you guys feel about the supported characters?
The flame girl.
I gotta memorize the names too because I'm working on it, but it takes me a little bit. Once I get the names, like
that's why I got it pulled up. She is
Kaguri.
Yes, and the dude, he does some shit too.
Yeah, he honestly is really funny too.
He be surprising me.
Who's he? Who's he?
We got this two-man team that's on the police force. So you got this girl. She has the flame bone we talked about earlier that could rival some of the enchanted blades.
She don't fucking play.
And then her partner now, his name is Mihara. Is he has the ability to make his own little kind of pocket dimension too within the public where they can fight without damaging anything around them or the other people around them too.
He can trap you in it. Like he can bring you in that world.
That's lit.
And nobody else notices, and then he can open it. Like there was a part in the episode,
some Doctor Strange type shit, right?
Yeah,
kind of, yeah.
Yes,
like a little parallel dimension.
Yes, there was a part in the manga in the chapter where like Chiro, like they had to make amends so they could face the same. We have a common enemy, so let's just come together real quick, right? We like the task force sent them after Churro to go retrieve the enchanted blade because now it was made public because when he defeated another enchanted blade user, which was the first time we seen it, which was the other dude, the Cloud Gouger, she went after him, and then she was just like, she can only fight her people if they make her want to kill them, right? It was something like that. But Kagurabachi was like, yo, I don't want to fight you. Like I know you're a good person. She's like, shut up. I need to want to kill you. You're ruining it. And he was just like, I'm not after you. Like, you want the blade, but I want the blades too. But my dad passed this to me. I can't give it to you. And so the other guy, Amira, he was just like, yo, he's a good guy. We got to, like, you know, something happened. We got to let him go. And then in the middle of a fight, they're talking and they come into common ground. And then she was like, all right, whatever. He resumes and they just slice everybody up.
Yeah, I will say, like,
the villain's like, where did it go? And then they're like, they're back. Boom. Everybody gets killed.
I will say, despite it being as serious as it is, there are still some pretty good moments.
She's
of,
the
like,
funny
laughters.
one, bro.
Yeah, she's funny. Both of them together.
She brought the comedy because you're just like, it was serious, but you could tell she's like Maki, from JJK, but more funny and not as serious, but trying to be serious, but goofy things happen around her trying to be serious.
Yeah, she's like Maki when Maki's around Yuta.
Yes.
But to finish the example I was kind of talking about earlier, I feel like Kagurabachi is like, if you look at shonen, say shonen is pizza, right? And you got Naruto, that's like pepperoni pizza. You got like Dragon Ball Z, that's like a good New York style pizza. I feel like Kagurabachi is just another kind of pizza, maybe with like some other topping, like a meat lover's pizza, right?
Yeah.
Where it's still pizza at the end of the day, but it just does something a little bit unique that makes it special, you know?
Yeah.
That's where I kind of feel like I am with it.
Same. And
Okay, I can see that.
first of all, another thing that drew me back to your first question, Maal, what drew me to it was the design of Churro. Off rip. His character design was cool. The drip was clean. He looked like your typical swordsman. Like, it just clean, and then the scar.
Yeah, especially with the colors, because on the manga covers and stuff, it's all like watercolor and really cool, which also ties into like his sword looking like ink and whatnot, like ink droplets. They do such a good job.
His dad really developed them swords, and we only got to see the power of 3 so far.
3, yeah.
Because we just seen the blind guy, which is another character that I love. He
might be my favorite character so far.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. No, Churros is my favorite so far. So is this, the other dude. I wouldn't even say his handler. But the dude who's always with him to go on missions.
Yeah, his mentor,
which is the dad's, one of the dad's closest friends, I think, right? Like,
yeah,
I think he was the one who came and saved him when they invaded.
I think so. He's also the one that like hit
Togo. He's the one who we think he's really cool, bro. He gives off like cool
he gives Gojo
vibes.
energy. He's like a mix of Gojo and Nanami. In his appearance. Too.
Yes. More Nanami, but still Nanami being super cool and get more raw, bro.
He's the character I'm most interested in learning more about.
We don't know much.
They make him mysterious. I'm like, bro, I want to. How does his power work? Like, what is he doing exactly?
Yeah, and you feel like he hasn't gone all out yet because they do give off like he and another person are the top 2 people that could go against the enchanted blades.
Yeah.
Okay. But bro, that last chapter that I read, Ty, that was sick.
Every time a new enchanted blade gets involved too, it just because I will say too, the series does make you feel like he's making progress. It doesn't feel like he's just like stuck or it's the same thing over and over.
Yeah,
it feels like we're steadily like achieving his goal. So
let me ask you this, Ty. The other dude that he was trying to protect, he has an enchanted blade too.
Yeah, but doesn't have it yet.
He didn't get touched.
Exactly.
Ooh,
which I don't know because. Right now, our boy is about to pass out again. Probably, I don't even know when we're gonna get the next enchanted sword.
So Hikari, what's his name? Hikaru, right, Ma? The one that I was telling you, he's developing. So through all this trauma, he's been staying by Churro's side because Churro's the only one who showed him a little bit of like respect, and like yo, you're like he has value. You have value, basically. And with that, he was able to unlock a certain power that the father thought one of the other kids were gonna have, and he thought he was gonna pass it to one of the other the little pocket dimension. He thought he was gonna hand over the keys to one of them, but the whole time he was the special one, and it was like some generation of passing powers where the wielder will be revealed randomly out of nowhere, and he was the one. And because of Chiro, he was able to do something. He was able to tap into it from all the trauma. And Chiro's like, bro, you always have power. You just was never given the opportunity because of the hostility environment you grew up in to unlock it. Well, not Chiro said that. The other dude said that. What's his name?
Oh, the mentor. Shiba.
Shiba said that. I gotta remember these names for real.
It's gonna take me
we're
a minute,
still learning these guys, but yeah, he said it and he tapped into it and he was able to help Chiro defeat his father.
Oh, big time.
Which is crazy. You watch your own dad get killed.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, pocket dimensions have always been my favorite power in like anything. I love the idea of using pocket dimensions like in a clever way. I love it. It's so cool to me.
It was because, right? So the dad was auctioning one of the enchanted blades, which we didn't get to see that one used.
No, we did, but it wasn't in full power because he doesn't have a contract with it.
Oh, okay. So the father, right, was auctioning it, and at the auction, he was there, but he also was in the pocket dimension at the same fucking time. Like he was talking and saying, like we're proceeding, and because everything's crumbling, like everything he doesn't want to happen is happening. Like the auction is being basically neutralized, and so he's trying to. Fast forward with the auction, he's also presenting to the viewers the fight, right? Was he? That was weird. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, he was. He was projecting.
He was showing the example of what it could do, right?
Yes, so that they could buy it.
So
it was kind of like one last like screw you to the people who were like messing up his show.
Yeah. And so everybody was raving and wanting him to win so they could buy the blade. But then it was just like, nah, bro, you're about to lose. Chiro was like, nah, I'm about to take this blade back.
And even on top of that, too, the real stakes of the matter is that he was dying at that point when he was trying to sell the blade. But he also has all these prisoners and slaves trapped inside his pocket dimension.
Yeah.
So now Chihiro has to both get the blade back and two, save all these people who are going to die
because if he dies, the pocket dimension closes and breaks apart.
Because everybody in there would just die.
Yeah. It made it very interesting, high stakes, bro. And the son was able to help get these people out because Churro did so fucking cool. He let his goldfishes out and they all went and touched the people.
Come on, the spirit energy to pull them out of it.
And they were able to get... I was like,
it's so smart, bro, man. The way they do the fights is so smart. And again, it doesn't feel like it's like dumbing it down for you to understand it. It just clicks.
Yeah, it does. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to know what the father did, and I want to know more of the previous users of the enchanted blade. I feel like the manga gives you enough interest to like, okay, who used this? What did they do with this? Okay, how was the war? Why is this like the blind guy? You know why he's blind, bro? He was never blind. He slit his eyes because he felt like he couldn't have enough purity with his senses for the sword. So he's like, he don't want to see, and also he doesn't want to see the people he killed as well anymore too. Because he says, yeah, I'm a hero, but I'm not. I kill so much people.
Yeah. Even with your hero, he's like, don't look up to me.
Yeah.
You guys talk about so much about, water and goldfish. Every time I'm like, you guys mention, I still haven't looked at the cover, and I look at the cover, and I'm like, oh, there's water around him. So I can see why you mentioned goldfish.
You see the art.
I see the water. Yeah, I'm looking at the water. There's water around him. Okay, say less.
Yeah.
Looks nice, though.
It does, bro. You see the art, and I think it's going to be good. I can't wait to see that first fight with him and the cloud gouger guy, bro. I can't wait because that lightning, when he uses all out... And I thought Chiro was dead.
I was wondering how he's going to get out of it.
I thought the whole town was about to be nuked because that's how strong the blade is. And he was able to figure out a way to, like, divert the...
Yeah, to, like, lightning rod.
Yeah, bro. And that's when, what's his name was watching him? Hakura. He was watching him. He was, like, Chiro didn't know, but he saved him at the time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Also, we haven't gotten back to you, but I also want to know what happened to the little girl with the healing abilities.
No, she's always there. She healed him from his previous fight, too.
No, I know, but I mean, like... Because, her story more so.
Yeah, at first it looked like she was going to be part of the vocal point, but then now she's not. She's more like a background reserve character now. Because at first, I think it was just an opening to show us that, like, okay, they want her because she's valued. She's part of the system of how they sell. But now it's a whole different thing, and the main story is the main story now.
Yeah.
So it was just, like, introducing us to that world. I think she was just the gateway of, like, he wanted a... Because at first he comes off an edgy kind of main character. He gives off a little bit edgy, and he's like he doesn't really care for anything. Like he's just like reserved. He's his personality is the opposite of his father. His father is way more like
goofy
and funny and does dumb shit. And it's like, how could this goofy ass nigga make all these raw ass swords? And then even Chiro questioned his dad, like, bro, like, what is wrong with you? I still want to know what happened with the mom. We haven't gotten.
Yeah, but you don't know anything about his mom. I thought that's also typical shonen.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why it's typical shonen. You didn't know nothing about the mother. Yeah, but it's a great manga to pick up. I already could tell you about to start reading.
I'm reading it as you guys talk already.
Hey man, well, enjoy so we can get your full perspective next time.
But yeah, the dad is talking to the goldfish, to the fishes in the bowl. So I'm like, okay, I'm assuming this is already. I'm already picking it up.
You know what? Now that you just said that was an interesting way of like paying respect and homage to the father to me. That was just a good way of him using that sort of always like keep a close, I guess, relationship with his dad in a way. But yeah, it picks up immediately. Like the dad dies, and then he sees it, and then boom, like you see the clan.
I mean, the first panel isn't covered. You know, you see is they working this they carving out the stone. They talking about the process. Then the next panel, somebody done got sliced up. I'm like, oh, what the hell just happened?
It's very it's very PG-17. Like it ain't.
It's not that bad. It's not.
It's not, but it's very gory. It's a lot of blood.
It's not gory. It's violent. Gory is like if you're showing like details like intestines and other stuff.
But it's
like
it's violent.
Chainsaw Man is gory.
Yeah. That's another show that I want to know how far it's going to pick up because...
if you want to talk about the manga for Chainsaw Man, I'm caught up on that too.
Yeah.
Because things are going crazy.
We that will be our next manga talk. Because Chainsaw Man is another manga that I picked up and then I got way in the middle and then I paused and I haven't went back. Not because it wasn't interesting enough. Other things came, so I had to divert. But I still want to know what's going on because every time I hear you and CJ talk about it, it's like it's up there, but I'm also like, season 2. I feel like there's too long of a gap. Too long of a gap.
Yes.
You're gonna lose momentum.
Well, I mean that's how it always is. Because it's one thing. No, it's the difference between because it always is like that. Because what they've been doing recently that's made you feel like it's not like that is they've been doing cores. So you have core 1 and then core 2, where like it happens like 2 or 3 seasons later. But normally when you have a season 1, it's going to be at least a year and a half before you get a season 2 because everything is booked in advance. So like if Chainsaw Man has an anime booked if Chainsaw Man has an anime booked now, they already have anime for the next year already booked. So it's like there's no way to get that second booking unless you see how successful season 1 is.
True.
But you can't book that until the show comes out and you see what the reports are.
Yeah. Because I was like, it was a lot of great hype. It had the same hype. What was it, 2 years ago now?
That like the ratings
that we're seeing with Solo.
Yeah, the ratings was
Kaiju.
It's so good.
But for me, I don't mind waiting because when you don't wait, that's how you get situations like what happened with One Punch Man, where season 1 was immaculate, but then season 2 dropped down so much because they were so prioritized with getting it out as quickly as possible, as opposed to getting out a better product.
Yeah. Anyways,
I agree with you though, Ty. I agree with you, Ty, because I was okay waiting for One Punch Man season 2. Like it was no rush for season 2 to come out. Like I was okay where season 1 ended, and I do believe that dropped off of season 2 made me distaste of the show just a little bit. It did.
It didn't ruin it for me. I love One Punch Man.
But
I would love to see it.
Speaking of One Punch Man, though, we do gotta pay some respects because the anime director for One Punch Man, Mob Psycho, My Hero. He did some Inuyasha too.
Damn.
Like he was a legend.
I think 63, right?
Shigemi Ikeda and also Ryo Kono as well both passed away. They were really, really impactful and inspiring art directors. So we appreciate your work. Hope you guys are resting in peace.
Yes, 2 fire horns for you guys. But yes, man, they did a lot of work. They did a lot of work. They had their hands in a lot of anime we all enjoyed. So RIP to those legends. Their work speak for
Absolutely.
them. Your work will always live on. And
In our hearts, man.
I want to know what One Punch Man is gonna do now with their director gone. Yeah,
It's a
but
good question because he was
Good
on a
question.
lot of big stuff. So.
yeah,
Because let me look up exactly. Also, I was just looking at it a second ago here. Like I
was
said,
he in?
Inuyasha, Afro Samurai, High School DxD, Snafu, One Punch Man, Hero Aka. He did most of Mobile Suit Gundam, Overlord. Like these guys are goats.
That's hold on. He did majority of Mobile Suit Gundam. That's my shit. You know I love me
Yeah,
some
man.
about that.
Yeah.
That's
They were
crazy.
really impressive art directors, man.
yeah,
Hey, definitely RP, man. Damn.
yeah,
Damn.
a lot,
And I
bro.
love damn.
But
Shit,
anyways,
can't believe
man,
that's my dog.
we are glad you guys tuned in to this episode
Yes,
of
sir. Yes,
Manga
sir.
Talk. Like we said, we like to talk about everything. We don't hold back spoilers. So if you did tune in, we're sorry. But like, subscribe, follow us, and also pick up the merch.
Merch, man.
Get the merch. We will be in Jacksonville. Yeah, Jacksonville this month in a couple of weeks
For Wasabi
for
Con.
Wasabi Con. So
Wasabi
and we
Con,
got
the
some-
22nd to the 24th.
Yeah, 22nd and 21st. But also, we got some new designs upcoming as well. So stay tuned for that. Stuff you're going to want.
yes, yes, it is. You're gonna want it, and it involves a brand new anime. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Only OTs.
But we'll catch you in the next one, and we're out. Peace.
Peace.